welcome you back to a Green Room session. My name is Paul Goodnight. I'm here with our worship leader, Eric Palmer, and behind the camera, you can't see him, is Jason the Magic Man Van Dorsten, taking care of all these things. All the tricks you see, he takes care of. And actually, before we get started, I want to say this, because many of you that attend on a weekly basis see these guys, but you don't know all the things that they do. And behind the scenes, these two, and I keep referring to Jason that you can't see, they do a lot of things around this ministry that nobody even knows. They're tireless workers, and I really appreciate all the effort you guys put in. But enough about you.
Thanks for reading that.
Let's talk about me. I was actually thinking about this when my son Curtis was probably about 7. Because he turned everything into our house into a drum. Lee and I thought it would be a good idea for Christmas to buy him a drum kit, and so we buy this junior drum kit. And partway through the day, I went to Lee and I said, I don't think of us as stupid people, but we are stupid people, because he had beat the hound out of thing all day long. For you, how long did music? How long ago? How young were you when music started? And was guitar your first instrument?
No, I took piano lessons when I was really young, and I hated it because I wanted to play
the oboe.
Well, I wanted to play Right Here Waiting by Richard Marx, and I was forced to play, the other stuff. I didn't like it.
Little Brown Jug.
I didn't like practicing music that I didn't like, so I gave that up pretty early. And then when I got to be like 20, I just regretted it and wished I had kept doing it, and then picked it back up. But guitar was the first thing I think really that made the most sense to me. And when it wasn't until I was like 15. I tried a few times when I was younger and failed miserably to learn how to play. And I taught myself, so I was too stubborn to get lessons or ask for it. So once I got that ball rolling, sort of combining that with singing, which I've been doing since I was a pretty little kid, when I was in elementary school singing in choirs and up through high school.
Well, so your story around here, I'm not sure that everybody knows that you've been around RBC for a lot longer before you were even on staff.
Right.
And you were volunteering and and doing things with senior high and worship services. When did you start kind of leading worship and doing that?
I guess when I was in high school, I sang in the worship band for the youth group. My discipler in high school, Bobby James, was leading the worship band, and I sang with him. And then once I built up enough chops to play guitar, started doing that, and then really led worship through the youth group when I was a college student. And a little bit after that. And then when you were the worship pastor, you invited me to come sing and play on Saturday nights, which at the time was the only outlet at our church for band. We didn't have a band on Sunday morning. We had choir and organ. And at some point you made what a dumb decision to bring the band to Sunday morning, which was a wildly popular idea at the time, and started singing on Sunday morning with you. At the time, I think we were doing 4 services, and I've been doing it ever since. So,
well, you do an excellent job, and I know personally I've been blessed just over and over by the worship at Reston Bible Church. It's just tremendous. We've got a song you're going to introduce coming up real soon in the service called "Be Lifted High." What grabbed you first about that song?
The first thing that grabbed me was the overall feel of it. I think sometimes the first thing that grabs me is, what sort of the way the song sounds, or you really just kind of sonically what it's doing, and how it fits with where we are. I think this is a song that fills a hole for us. There's not a whole lot of songs we do that have this sort of flavor. So that's actually the first thing I thought of when, before I had even heard any lyrics. I thought, wow, I like the way this song feels. It feels like this could be something great. And then the words are real simple, but the main scripture from this song that they've taken is John 3:30, which is he must increase and we must decrease. Yeah. And that's a life verse for me. It should really be a life verse for everyone. And I think a great thing to be able to offer when we're together as a worshiping church. So just that we would not care more about our own happiness or our own satisfaction or contentment, but what God has for us. I think it's a great thing to sing about. So.
in it, obviously the "be lifted high," that refrain is repeated, through that, with this idea of, as you just described, the idea of Christ being the one who increases, we decrease. After people hear the song, and invariably they're going to be humming it throughout the week. And as they're thinking about that idea, of Christ be lifted high, how do you sort of, see them putting that into practice in their daily,
I mean, it's a simple message that I'm nothing without you. God be lifted high for everything we're seeing. And when I hear that line, I just think about our church just singing this together and just exalting God and just knowing that through every victory, every trial, and it's kind of the same message to the bridge of "Blessed Be Your Name," a song we don't sing as much anymore. You give and take away, but God, blessed be your name for everything you've done. And for us, just to see all the things that God's doing, whether they be in our eyes, whether they be a bad thing or a good thing, or things that are challenging or things that really lift us up. Through all of that, to have the walk and the relationship with Christ, to then say, God, I see what you're doing. I don't necessarily, maybe I wouldn't do it that way, but God, be lifted high for who you are and what you're doing. And that's really, kind of a big thing of what's behind our worship together as a congregation, that we would look around and rejoice that God's doing something in all of us. And what a great opportunity for us to then take that and offer that to God together, as loudly as we can. So.
Well, and I appreciate a song that exhorts us. That when we go away from a service, certainly the spoken word, whoever's teaching, they're going to bring a certain amount of exhortation, but many times it's in the worship too that we're exhorted to, to see God for who He is, to express that, to then take that, from the worship service. And so, this song, I think people are going to really enjoy it. I think they'll be humming it a lot. Actually, before we came down here, they were getting ready for something for senior high, and they had that song playing up there. It sings everywhere.
I did that, so.
He's good.
Subliminal.
Yeah. So look forward to you all hearing this when Eric plays for you.
Lay down my rights, lay down my life, and I will abandon all of my pride, focus my eyes away from myself. You become greater, I become less. You be lifted high, you be lifted higher. I belong to you, I am nothing without you. Jesus, be all, consume every part. My greatest desire, I give you my heart. Focus my eyes away from myself. You become greater, and I become less. You be lifted high, you be lifted higher. I belong to you, I am nothing without you. You be lifted high, you be lifted higher. I belong to you, I am nothing without you. In every victory, in every trial, my soul sing, be lifted high. all of my life. Jesus, forever be lifted high. In every victory, in every trial, my soul will sing, be lifted high. With every heartbeat, all of my life, Jesus, forever be lifted high. You be lifted high. You be lifted higher. I belong to you. I am nothing without you. You be lifted high. You be lifted higher. I belong to you. I am nothing without you.
You didn't say 2 or 1. No, you don't say 2 or 1. You just